Either way. All right. Okay, everyone. Here we are with Ask and It Is Given. And today we are going to discuss Chapter 4. Chapter 4 is titled, How Can I Get There From Here? Now, this is Abraham's way of saying things. How can I get there from here? But in reality, what they mean is, why is it taking me so long to get to the things that I want? And so, hang on one second. I'm just going to give you the YouTube link so that if you want to, you can go to the YouTube live transmission. All right, here we go. A lot of people ask, in fact, I think that the main reason that people turn towards law of attraction is because they want something and suddenly they realize that it's not someone else who has control, but that they do have control, and all they have to do is to start thinking their thoughts in a different manner in order to start manifesting what they want. And that revelation is fantastic. And I remember being there. I remember when I first started understanding that, oh my God, all I have to change is the way I think my thoughts, and then I can change the amount of money that comes to me. I can change my relationships. I can have, be, or do anything I want. That is why we turn towards law of attraction. But after starting to understand what Abraham teaches, and after starting to understand what law of attraction is all about, I have begun to understand that law of attraction is not just about getting something. Law of attraction is actually a way of life. It is a way of approaching all aspects of our life. It is about thinking about everything in our lives. That is what law of attraction is all about. So let's go back to the book. And I'm going to read just a little bit from the book because I really love the way Abraham says things, because it helps me to lift my vibration. It makes me happy. These words make me happy. Why is it taking me so long to get what I want? And Abraham says in response, it is not because you do not want it enough. What is wanting something enough? That is momentum. So the momentum of desire is high, and momentum is the actual magnet. Momentum is what pulls things to us. So what Abraham is saying is, you are pulling that thing. You've got that magnet going at full speed, pulling that desire towards you. It is not because you are not intelligent enough. We are all intelligent enough to understand the difference between a negative thought and a positive thought. We are all intelligent enough to understand that what we focus on expands. We are all intelligent enough to understand that the words I can have, be, or do anything I want are freeing. And so it's not about our intellect, because as Abraham puts it, even the one-celled amoeba is giving birth to desires. Even that one-celled amoeba is vibrating and has preferences. Even the trees have preferences. Haven't you seen plants and trees prefer sunlight to shade, and then others of them prefer the shade to sunlight? See? Even plants have preferences. So it's not about intelligence. The next line is, it's not because you are not worthy enough, because we are all worthy. Why? Because we are all extensions of that which we call source, of that which we call God. We are all extensions of that energy. So absolutely, it's not a question of whether one person is worthy and another person is not. We are all worthy. Okay. It is not because fate is against you. Because what is fate? Right? That's a very big question. Maybe that's a question for a session all on its own. What is fate? Nothing. Fate is what people who don't understand law of attraction call law of attraction. That's what fate is. But once you start understanding that law of attraction is something that you have control over, that you can direct it, then you don't worry about fate. It is not because someone else has already won your prize, because there's more than enough for all of us in this world. We're not competing with each other. We're not competing with each other for that relationship, because there are many people who can make us feel that way. There are many people who have those attributes that we are looking for in a mate or a friend. We are not competing for money, because there's more than enough money. Just like the air we breathe, there's more than enough for all of us, because we are all creating our own abundance. We are literally creating the money that comes into our life. So it's not about that. Okay. So no one else has won our prize. And so it's important to remember all of these things, because when we remember that these things, these are the ways of the universe, then we start understanding that we do have control, that we can have, be, or do anything that we want. And then Abraham goes on to say, the reason that you have not already gotten what you desire is because you are holding yourself in a vibrational holding pattern that does not match the vibration of your desire. You know what, guys? The best way for me to explain this, because this is really at the basis of all of law of attraction, is to use this board that I like using. And let me just grab a pen so that I can write on it. Okay, so if we look at what is vibration, vibration is a result of the emotion that we feel. That is what vibration is. So if you look at this board here, if you look at this board, I feel like I'm playing peekaboo. Peekaboo! 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 All right, so back on track, folks. All right, so this is the emotional scale, and all it's saying is love is the highest form of emotion. Then there's worry, and I put these on a scale of 1 to 10. So 0, in fact, is depression and despair, and then anger is somewhere over here, maybe a 3 or a 4, and 5 is worry and doubt, and then 10 is love. And these are things that we want. So let's say that you're looking for love. Maybe you're looking for love from your existing spouse, or maybe you're looking for a different relationship or a new relationship. The perfect relationship that is going to instigate, call out from you that feeling of love, that's over here. And if you are over here at anger, then you are not lined up. You're not in the same plane as this person. If you're in anger, then you're lined up with this person over here who is also on the same vibrational frequency. So when Abraham talks about a vibrational holding pattern, what they're saying is, this is your vibrational holding pattern, and we all have a habit of where we usually spend our time on the emotional scale. For those people who usually spend their time worrying about something or another, then the results that they get are things that are over here. But what they really want is over here. So, you know the title of the chapter, How Can I Get There From Here? Well, that's what Abraham is referring to, because you can't get here from here. You've got to go up here, and then you can get here. Makes sense? So that's what all of this vibrational stuff means is you need to generate the vibration. So that's why Abraham says, and later on we'll get into it, that's why Abraham says you have to be in love with yourself in order to find someone who loves you. You have to be the thing that you want. You have to be the vibration of the thing that you want, and then that thing will come to you. All right, so if you pay attention, next what they're talking about is pay attention, stop and feel about it. So feel the emotion that is being generated inside of you because of the way you have decided that you want to look at this thing that is bothering you. Because if you change the way you look at it, the thing that you look at changes. Dr. Wayne Dyer's beautiful words. I love these words. When you change the way you look at things, what you look at changes. So if I keep thinking that this person that I don't currently get along with is incapable of change, then they will never be capable of change. I have to start thinking differently about them so that they can start showing me a different aspect of their personality. I have to start thinking that they can be better, that they can be different, that they can respond to me differently, that we can have a different type of interaction with each other. And when I change the way I think about them, then the way they respond to me changes. And that is the most important thing. So if we start following our vibration, and that is the most echo there. All right, so if we start paying attention to the vibration that we feel, if we start feeling how something feels inside us, because we can feel our emotion inside our body. Our body responds to every thought that we think and every emotion that we feel. So once we start paying attention to how we feel in our body, then we can figure out where we are on this scale. We can figure out whether we are down here or up here on the emotional scale. And if we know that we are at the bottom half, somewhere along the bottom half of the emotional scale, then we know that we have to think thoughts to generate emotions that take us up the emotional scale. And that's really all we have to do. That's all we have to do. We have to go up the emotional scale in order to get lined up with the thing that we want. And that comes from the next thing Abraham says is, so now the only thing you need to do is to release your resistant thought. What is a resistant thought? Any thought that tells you, that suggests to you that you cannot have what you want. Any thought that suggests to you that what you want is not possible is a resistant thought. And thinking that kind of a thought is going to slow down your progress towards what you want. And the more you think about that resistant thought, the bigger the resistance is, the longer it's going to take you to get to where you want to go. So let me show you this again. Let me go back to this. So the amount of resistance is what we call momentum. If you are very, very angry, it's going to take a lot more work for you to go here. But if you're very, very angry and you keep going this way, then you're going to end up with this thing that you really don't want when you get there. So you've got to do the work to go up here, and that is the work of releasing the resistant thought. Because there's no resistance in love and joy. So let's go back to that example of the person who is not nice and you want them to be nicer. Well, if you look at that person from a place of love and joy and you say, you know what, maybe they were just having a bad day. Maybe they are beautiful inside. I just have not had the chance to get to know them at that level. And wouldn't it be nice if they showed me that side of their personality? Now suddenly you've released that anger towards that person who misbehaved towards you or said something that annoyed you. You've released that anger because what you've said is you've forgiven them. You've said that maybe there's something happening in their life that I can't see that instigated them to that behavior. See, that's how it works. It's as simple as that. It is about finding a way to justify better results. And our mind often works in the opposite direction. Our mind often works in opposition and tries to justify why things can go wrong. So we have to find ways to retrain our mind so that it automatically goes into that place where it starts looking for reasons for things to go well rather than reasons for things to go wrong. Okay, so the next heading there is well-being is lined up outside your door. Well-being flows, well-being wants you, well-being is lined up outside your door. Everything you have ever desired, whether spoken or unspoken, has been transmitted by you vibrationally. It has been heard and understood by source and has also been answered. And that's the important thing, right? That captures the title of the book in its entirety. Ask and it is given. When we ask, source creates it. It's created in the instant that you ask. It is there, and now all you have to do is to allow it in. Feel your way into allowing yourself to receive it one feeling at a time. All that means one feeling at a time. Going to bring that board back. All that means is if you are over here on the emotional scale, one feeling at a time. So here you are in deep depression, despair. Go up. Maybe you'll go up to guilt and then blame and then anger and revenge, worry and frustration and doubt, to hope and satisfaction and eagerness and joy. One step at a time, one emotion at a time. We go up the emotional scale, one emotion at a time. You cannot make a jump, because if we tried to jump from here to here, it's just not possible. Have you ever walked up to someone who was seething, absolutely seething with anger, and tried telling them, stop it, you're being silly, just be happy, there's nothing to be angry about? That person is going to want to knock some sense in you, because they cannot make that jump. It's not possible to make that jump. So once we start understanding, one of the things that goes wrong, once we start understanding that we need to be at a place of love and joy in order to manifest all the things that we want, is that people try to make a jump. They try to jump up there to a place of love and joy, and they try to fake it, and you cannot fake your emotions. You cannot fake your emotions. You can fake your emotions as far as other people are concerned. You can make other people believe that, you're happy, but you absolutely cannot dupe the universe. The universe knows how you truly feel, and the reason the universe knows is because the universe is listening all the time, not just when you sit down to pray, not just when you visualize. The universe is listening all the time. So the universe also listened to that thought that said, I'm going to fake it. Because as far as law of attraction is concerned, there's no faking it. You have to actually do the work to go up the emotional scale and be stable at every emotion in order to start manifesting the things that you want. And the beautiful thing that happens is, once you start understanding how this stuff works, You don't worry about the manifestation anymore because you know that things will just come. So you give up the worry, and when you give up the worry, you give up the attachment. When you give up the attachment, you give up the resistance, and when you give up the resistance, you automatically go up the emotional scale, and then wonderful things start happening for you. All right, so the next heading there is you are a physical extension of source energy. And by the way, if anyone has a question, you can post your question in the comments and I will pick them up and address them. So if any questions coming up, please feel free to ask. Okay, so you are a physical extension of source energy. So the most impactful words that I read in this paragraph here is, and I'm going to read them to you. And just as source created your world and you through the power of focused thought, you are continuing to create your world from your leading edge place in this time-space reality. How wonderful is that? How interesting and how deep. That there is a really complex sentence. So let's pick it apart together. First thing is, source created this world that we live in, this physical reality, by thinking it into place. Because as you think a thought, it is, you give birth to something that has vibrational form, and if you keep thinking that, it starts gathering more energy, and the more energy it gathers, then it becomes manifest. And I'll give you an example that you might be able to relate better to. Water is steam, and when it is steam, we do not see it. But water, when it changes form from steam, it turns back into the liquid water, and then the liquid water can turn into ice, which is a harder, knock on wood, manifested reality. And that is exactly what happens when source, or when we focus on something. We literally, when we focus on something, we transform it from its non-physical steam form first into the liquid form and then into the solid form. So that person that you want, you've created that person that you want in your life. You've created a vibrational version of them. And somewhere in the world, the characteristics and the things that you want, there is a person who has that, but they're not in your realm just now. They're not close by just now. So now what's going to happen is, while liquid is being created, is that source is going to create a series of events, what we call coincidences, where source is going to create the series of events that are going to bring this person closer and closer and closer, so that one day you're going to bump into them. Maybe it's going to happen at the coffee shop, maybe it's going to happen in the grocery store, maybe it's going to happen at a party, or maybe you'll meet them at work. Who cares? Source has thousands of ways of introducing this person into your life. And then when you see them and the magic happens, that's the manifestation. You've turned this non-physical into part physical and then all the way manifested. This is exactly how everything manifests. And this is exactly how Source created the world. And this is exactly how Source created us. Each one of us is an extension of Source that Source has thought into place. Our bodies, are physical matter that have been thought into place. And we have created ourselves, because if you read this line, you are continuing to create your world from your leading edge place in this time-space reality. We created. Why did we create? Well, how did we create? Well, we are part of source. So before we took physical form, we decided that we were going to birth into this physical body. And at that stage of our development, we had broad intentions or broad desires. And the reason Abraham calls us the leading edge is because those broad desires become specific desires because of us, because of our feeling of contrast and our giving birth to preferences. We are the leading edge. We are the ones who think the specifics into place. It's like the architect creates the plan, the drawings for the house, and then the engineers and the workers and the contractors come and they put the specifics into place. And then the finishing touches, the paint and the finishes come into place. And that's what's happening here. Source has created the plans, the architecture, the body that we are birthing into. And when I say source, that's us. We have thought this into place. And then we arrive here with the intention of going shopping for the materials and getting the finishes so that we can complete this plan that we made. And that's what makes us at the leading edge. We are at the front end. We are at the front end of this process of creation because we are doing the specific picking and choosing. All right, so lovely words again here, and I'm going to read them because they're so impactful. You and that which you call source are the same. You cannot be separated from source. Source is never separated from you. When we think of you, we think of source. When we think of source, we think of you. Source never offers a thought that causes separation from you. And really, there is no separation because we are always connected. As long as we breathe, our breath is our connection to the non-physical part of us, right? Your breath is invisible. It's the non-physical part of you. And that is your connection and my connection to my source. Okay, so now Abraham goes on page 17 to explain, and it's page 17 of the hardbound volume, that it is through contrast, through comparing this with this, that we decide which one we prefer more. Do I like red better or blue better? Do I like this shape better or this shape better? Do I like this consistency or this consistency? All of those comparisons and picking what we like better is what specificity is all about. That is what being on the leading edge is all about. That is what giving birth to desires is all about. Because every time we prefer something, we are giving birth to a desire that says, that's what I want. Very important words in the next paragraph. From non-physical, you created you. Nobody else did. You created you. You are the creator and you are the creation. How wonderful is that? And now from physical you continue to create. We all must have objects of attention, desires that are ringing our bells in order to feel the fullness of who we are flowing through us for the continuation of all that is. What does that mean, folks? That is really, really deep. That is complex. Is that birthing of desires helps to flow energy, and that flow of energy is the fuel or the food or the thing that keeps source, all that is, alive. It is important for the continuation of all that is. Our thinking, our expressing preferences is drawing energy forward to the leading edge, because we are picking the specific paint and tiles and things. We are drawing energy to those things, and that is what is responsible for the continuation of the universe, the continuation of source, the continuation of all that is. And therefore, we are extremely important. We are extremely important because without us, there is no source. So let's keep going. The evolutionary value of your personal preferences. Do not underestimate the value of your preferences, but we do. We do. We say, I like this, but I guess I can't have it. And that must mean I'm not important enough, or what I want is not important enough. All right, fine. I'm going to let it be. I'm going to let it go. It doesn't matter. No. What you want is important. It is important. It has value. And it is that engine that keeps the universe going. It's that engine that keeps things happening. All right, moving on. So the science, Stella, quiet. Stella's here with me. All right. The science of deliberate creation. We want to assist you in deliberately thinking thoughts that take us up the emotional scale. And once you relax into the idea that you will never cease to be, you will never cease to be. We don't come to an end with the croaking experience. Life keeps going on. There is no end to who we are. And I love Deepak Chopra's, I know I'm going a little bit over just now, but I love how Deepak Chopra explains this, that source is like that ocean, and we all come from that ocean as waves. So each wave runs its course and collapses back into the ocean. To me, that makes perfect sense. Every lifetime is a wave, and we go back, and then the wave comes again. And every time it comes, it's a new wave. It's different. It's going to run a different path, and then it's going to go back, recede back into the ocean. So we never cease to be, and we are all part of the same thing. And we have complete creative control because we have been given complete creative control, because we have been allowed to pick the specifics. Source, the architect, has given us permission to select all the materials to build a house that we are happy with. We have the freedom to go and pick whatever paint we want and whatever flooring and whatever tile we want. We can pick. So we can pick the experience. And the thing is to have fun on that shopping spree. Enjoy that shopping spree. It's not supposed to be a struggle. That shopping spree is supposed to be fun. It is supposed to be joyous. It's supposed to be exciting. And we are supposed to move towards building a house that we absolutely love. And if we build it one way, we have permission to rip it up and rebuild. We can renovate anytime we want. We have complete permission to do whatever we want because we are free. We have freedom, and we can create whatever we want out of our lives. All right. So I hope I got that across. And I'm going to read the last paragraph, which I thought was absolutely beautiful. Can you believe it? I've read this book so many times, but every time I read it, it's like I've never read it before. It is our desire that you become one who is happy with that which you are. So be satisfied where you are. And with that which you have, be satisfied with the things that you have, while at the same time being eager for more. Look forward with joy. Don't think of it as a struggle. That is the optimal creative vantage point. To stand on the brink of what is coming, feeling eager, optimistic anticipation with no feelings of impatience, doubt, or unworthiness hindering the receiving of it. That is the science of deliberate creation at its best. Beautiful words to end with. So I really had fun, and I hope all of you did. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow with chapter 5 of Ask and It Is Given. All right, so if you don't have the book, just go to Amazon and Google it. You can grab the book. I tell you, this is a gem. You have to have this book. Pick a format that you like because it's available in all different formats. And I'll post, to make it easy for you, if you don't have the book, I will post the link below so that you can go grab a copy. All right, folks, that's it for tonight. I hope you had fun, and I will see you tomorrow for chapter 5. Bye for now.